led up to this. In just about 2 hours, the polls will close here in Georgia, and the most contentious presidential election in memory comes to an end.
Well, before the night is over, we should know who the American people have chosen as the next president of the United States. Will it be Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton?
I voted for Hillary Clinton, primarily because when I look at Donald Trump, I think that as a leader, he doesn't demonstrate some necessary personality traits.
I believe that Donald is going to be the person to bring our country into unification, to join forces together.
It's not about this year who you're voting for, it's almost about who you're voting against.
Now, the polls have been packed as voters cast their ballots for the candidate of their choice or against the candidate they don't like. Even with a record number of Georgians casting their ballots early, there are still long lines at the polls today.
Yeah, and every vote counts. Polls show a very close race, and it could be a long night. Both candidates have already cast their ballots at this point. Hillary Clinton and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, headed to the polls early this morning in Chappaqua, New York. And then on the right side of your screen, you see where Donald Trump and Melania Trump also voted this morning. They cast their ballots in Manhattan.
Now both campaigns wait, and so do their supporters. We have complete coverage of the presidential race results as well as the U.S. Senate race tonight. We'll begin with Fox 5's Doug Evans, who's with Trump supporters in Atlanta right now. Doug?
They'll be watching the results here at the Grand Ballroom in the Grand Hyatt Hotel here in Buckhead. This is where the statewide Republicans will gather to watch these results and to cheer on the local Republican candidates. We expect a lot of visits from bigwigs in the Republican Party tonight. We know that Johnny Isakson will be here as well. Fox 5's Natalie Pozo will be telling you more about that in just a few minutes. We'll also tell you what they'll be watching. That's going to be very important to them tonight here as they watch the results, and that is the conventional wisdom about what Donald Trump must do tonight. Now, when you look at the Electoral College map, what's predicted, what Hillary Clinton is predicted to win, what Donald Trump is predicted to win, then there's the toss-up states and the leaning states. The conventional wisdom is that tonight Donald Trump must turn a blue state into red. He must take a state that had been leaning Democratic or had been historically Democratic, and he must turn it to Republican. But which state will it be? Tonight they'll be watching Michigan. They'll be watching also Ohio, and they'll be watching North Carolina. In addition to all of that, they're going to be watching the so-called toss-up states. Arizona, Iowa, states like that, even Georgia and Florida. They'll be very interested to see how Donald Trump does in those states tonight as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's expected to be a long, long night, but we'll be here with you and giving you live reports from the ballroom here at the Grand Hyatt Hotel in Buckhead. That's the very latest. I'm Doug Evans, Fox 5 News.
Okay, good. Yep, there's a bell.
Anna and Deidre, a lot of excitement out there.
Excitement is certainly building in the Democratic camp. I spoke with Georgia Democratic Party spokesperson Michael Smith just a short time ago, and he told me that thousands of volunteers have been working over the past months to get not only Hillary Clinton elected president, but also working for those candidates down the ticket from top to bottom to elect as many Democrats as they can here in the state. He said today volunteers, both working out of campaign headquarters and the regional offices, that they have been canvassing. They have been working the phone banks. They've actually been driving people to the polls. In fact, they told me that so many of their folks voted early that they actually had more people signing up to drive people to the polls than they had people who actually requested rides today. So they are very happy with the way things are going for Democrats here in Georgia so far. Now, just a short time ago, Fulton County Commission Chair John Eves stopped by just to kind of check out the room, the venue for tonight, and also to talk to reporters. and he told me that he is very happy with the voting here in Fulton County, how the voting's been going, and he believes that that's going to bode well for Hillary Clinton tonight.
I think it's going to be relatively close in Georgia in terms of whether it's a blue state or a red state, but I think nationally, I think that the polls have been consistent the past week or so. I think she's has the electoral map in her favor. Even if the swing state or two goes in Trump's favor, I think at the end of the day, we're going to have our first female president of the United States tonight will be elected.
Final preparations underway here in the ballroom, preparing for what many here will hope be a victory party here for Clinton tonight. We expect this room to start filling up in just a couple of hours, being told by Democratic Party officials that they will start to file in around 8 o'clock or so to start watching the returns come in here tonight. They're hoping that this will be a victory party here this evening. And that's the latest here at the Hyatt in downtown Atlanta. I'm Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
All right, Deidre. Well, we're also following the U.S. Senate race, and here in Georgia, Republican incumbent Johnny Isakson is running for a third term, but Democrat Jim Barksdale is trying to win that seat. Now, we'll be live with both campaigns as those results roll in. Let's start with a preview of Senator Isakson's watch party with Fox 5's Natalie Pozo.
Well, setup continues here at the Hyatt in Buckhead for the Georgia Republican watch party. The doors open here in a little less than an hour, with the program starting at 7:30, and Senator Johnny Isakson expected to arrive here later on this evening. Now, Senator Isakson crediting his record for his past Senate wins. Of course, as you know, he spent time in the State House and Senate along with the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, some may say that the Senate race has not been fought with the intensity of the presidential race. Some may even say that the Senate race maybe fell in the shadows of what's being called a presidential election campaign like no other. But Isakson says he's pleased with his campaign. Of course, he announced 2 years ago that he would be running for his third term. He tells me that he raised $11 million and that he's pleased with their television campaign ads, with the door-to-door, person-to-person relationships that they developed throughout this 2-year campaign, and says that he believes that they finally put together the perfect campaign, and he feels that he will be rewarded tonight. Of course, we will be keeping an eye on that, and we'll bring you the very latest here. Now, one of Isakson's opponents, a Democrat, Jim Barksdale, is holding a watch party in downtown Atlanta. It's where we find my colleague Morris Diggs. Morris, what can you tell us?
Well, when the Georgia Democrats came to try to find an opponent to unseat Senator Isakson, no big name came out. Well, Jim Barksdale, an investment banker, said, "Count me in." And he counted more than $3 million from his own bank account to fund his campaign. A short time ago, I spoke to his campaign manager. She told me, do not underestimate the candidate's support.
The African American vote is part of the Democratic base, but we are looking to turn out not just Democrats, but also the people who are upset by the fact that Senator Isakson continues to support Donald Trump at the time when he has disrespected so many of our women, of minorities like myself. It is absolutely unacceptable, and we know that there will be votes coming from unusual places. That being said, Jim Barksdale has worked for every single vote that he's getting. We've spent time in minority communities, from going up to Gwinnett for canvas launches and roundtables, to traveling the state on listening and learning tours. We launched a Black and Brown listening and learning tour a few weeks ago. We've talked to these communities. We've been in these communities. We've been endorsed by these communities. We will continue working for every single vote for the rest of the day.
And yes, Barksdale is the person you've seen on television with that hat. Now, before he comes here to the downtown Hyatt, he's going to go over to the Black college campuses. He's going to visit there. There's a watch party there, and he will shake hands and talk with students. And then we expect him here at the Hyatt Regency sometime after 9. Reporting live from downtown Atlanta, I'm Morris Diggs, Fox 5 News.
All right, a busy night for all the candidates tonight. Morris, thanks. We're also watching 4 constitutional amendments on the ballot. Amendment 1 would allow the state to intervene to help failing schools. Amendment 2 imposes penalties for sexual exploitation to fund victim services. Amendment 3 reforms the Judicial Qualifications Commission. And Amendment 4 requires that revenue from taxes on fireworks go to trauma care and public safety.
Well, we have just learned that a judge has ordered one Gwinnett County polling place to stay open an extra 12 minutes.
Voters at Sweetwater Middle School in Lawrenceville will be able to vote until 7:12 because the precinct location opened late. But for the most part, there weren't a lot of problems this election.
Well, Fox 5's Jacqueline Schultz has monitored conditions in Fulton County all day long. And Jacqueline, it seems that long lines have really been the biggest problem.
Well, there have been so many long lines because of the high turnout we're seeing today. Fulton County officials expect 162,000 people to vote just today. That's not even including early voters. So for a lot of people, that meant very long lines, an hour and a half to 2 hours long. But in other places in Fulton County, like this church in Buckhead, there was no line at all. And Fulton County officials believe that it's because so many people, hundreds of thousands, voted early.
People leaving without voting.
Some voters angry, and some even left after 2 express polls at Southwest Atlanta's Therrell High School shut down. Lines stretched to an hour out the door. Officials say they cleared up the problem after 40 minutes.
It was long, but it was fast and quick. About 30 minutes.
And in College Park, long lines after polling officials merged 2 precincts into one. One viewer sent us a photo of an hour and a half long line at the Tracy Wyatt Rec Center at 7 in the morning. Fulton County election officials say they rushed to add more machines and voting booths to ease that crowd. Northeast Atlanta, lines circled inside the building at Inman Middle School. But elsewhere, a different scenario.
I mean, I was surprised to pull up and there weren't that many people.
And to the surprise of many, virtually no line at the Second Ponce de Leon Baptist Church in Buckhead. Similar scenarios at the East Roswell Library and Morningside Baptist Church. County officials believe the 290,000 people who voted early helped ease lines in some places.
We were really pleasantly surprised.
Now, in total, Fulton County officials expect 70% of active voters, or 410,000 people, to have voted this presidential election. Tonight, they do remind people, they know a lot of people are getting off of work and are going to be rushing to the polls to be in line by 7 p.m. sharp so they can still vote tonight. We're going to bring you the latest on lines around Fulton County and the voting situations here at precincts. But for now, reporting live in Buckhead, Jacqueline Schultz, Fox 5 News.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Well, depend on Fox 5 News. We're going to have complete coverage of Election Night 2016, both on air and online. We're going to have streaming coverage of Election Night in Georgia starting at 7 on fox5atlanta.com. Also, watch on our Fox 5 Atlanta Facebook page. Plus, you can watch Fox News coverage from across the nation with Shepard Smith. That's starting at 7 o'clock right here on Fox 5. And stay tuned for Fox 5 News at 10 and News Edge at 11.